Hi guys, welcome to today's lesson. So we are looking at financial mathematics, but in particular we're going to look at the present value annuity. So just to give you a quick overview of what present value is all about. This is about the money you get now in the present. So the present value, you see, present it talks about now. So it's the money that you get now. So it's not really the money that you own. It's the money that maybe the bank owns in terms of a loan, or maybe a developer own in terms of maybe a bond, if you get a bond directly from the developer, because at times they do give that. And it might be money that a store owns based on what you take on a loan basis. So all of this is the money that you don't really get tangibly in your hand, or you do as if it's a loan. It's the money that maybe if you don't get it in your hands, you know that you have 300,000, but it is going to the dealership where you are buying a car. The only thing you will be left with is to pay the loan, you see. So it's all about the money you get now to amortize later, meaning to pay back at a later stage. But let's look at our overview of what this is about. So I want you to think about this. How do we repay these loans, right? How do loan repayments actually work? Do they calculate the percentage when I start taking the loan? As I am paying back the loan, do they then change depending on inflation, or does it stay the same throughout? Also, why do people take out loans? But I know this one we can really kind of tell why people take loans. At times it might be the fact that you really do need some money for something that is not within your budget scale, or maybe you just did not plan for an unforeseen circumstance that takes place and you now need to go take a loan. Also, how do financial institutions work with respect to loans? So how do they actually administer these loans of theirs? The last thing you need to think about, how can financial maths help you to make these wise decisions? Now, guys, I know that a loan is always the easy option to go to, but I promise you, the repercussions of it, right, the consequence of you taking that loan, at times is very deadly, based on the fact that you might have taken the loan for pleasure, right, and not maybe to make more money or anything like that. So always just look at why are you taking this loan, and we're going to try and factor that in our discussion and show you in terms of calculations what are the consequences of taking out a loan. So for now, let's look at the keywords for this particular lesson. So we've been talking about future value sinking funds, the annuities. Now we are on the present value, specifically bond repayments. This is taking a loan to buy a house. So that's a bond or a normal loan, a personal loan, or just a financing loan. Our keywords will be a loan or bonds, repayments, the time periods. Remember, how many months are you going to be paying this, because a loan is normally on a month-to-month basis. The outstanding balance. The outstanding balance has to do with the unforeseen circumstances where you took a loan, maybe let's say for 5 years, right? In 5 years, you know that's 60 months. But after maybe 45 months, you lose your job and the insurance on the loan cannot pay for more than 4 months or something like that of you not working, and then you need to pick up now after a year or after 6 months of not paying back the loan. There's a balance. We call it the outstanding balance. So that's really what the concept is about. Also, we know that a loan is normally on a compound interest basis. Now, what are present value annuities? These are regular equal payments or installments that are made solely to pay back a loan or a bond over a period of time. So this has nothing to do with you accumulating a certain amount after a certain number of years. No, it's about you paying back the loan in order to move from something that is greater than 0 to 0. in the bank. So your balance must be 000. Then you know that you would have completed your loan. Then the reducing balance of the loan is usually calculated using compound interest. Now we also have a formula to do this, to calculate the present value annuity, not really the future value, because remember, future value has to do with what you get at a later stage. So the formula is P is equals to X into 1 minus. So look at the difference. Instead of the future value, which is minus 1, now we are saying 1 minus. So please look at the formula. But the formula will always be there for you to note in terms of the information sheet. The P will be the balance that is outstanding. So how much loan did you take? This is the value of the installments, your monthly repayments. This will be the number of repayments that you are paying back the bank or the whatever institution you took from. And then interest rate as a decimal. You know that if I give you 5%, you must always divide it by 100, right? Because we don't really deal with percents in terms of calculation. So this is the formula that we use. The P part of it is how much did you take from the bank. The I is how much the bank is charging you as the interest on what you have taken from them. So if you took 1,000 and they charge you 10%, then you know the 10% is for the 1,000 rand that you took based on the duration of how much you're going to pay this loan back, right? So that's what I want you to think about when we take a quick ad break. But when we come back, we're going to look at actual questions that involve taking out a loan and different scenarios of why people really take out loans. Please stay tuned. I'll be back just now. Hi guys, welcome back. So I hope you've had a quick break so that we can look at some questions now. The last thing we looked at before we went to the ad break was the formula to calculate the present value annuity. Now the present value annuity, there's 3 types of questions that you will get there. One will be, you know what the present value is, you want to know how much money you must pay on a month-to-month basis. Scenario number 2, you know how much you can afford to pay on a month-to-month basis, maybe for a house. So you want to know how much the house must cost, right? The cost of the house, which is the present value. So you know your monthly payment that you are willing to pay. You are going backwards to calculate how much you are eligible to then borrow from the bank to buy that house. The third one will be, you know what the loan amount is, you know how much you are paying, you want to know how many months or how long you must be paying back this loan in order to amortize it. Now, to amortize means to make zero, right? From 20,000 to zero. Let's look at the very first question now that has to do with this. But quickly, remember what we are looking at. We are still looking at the concept of a present value. Now, let's say you start at university and you don't really have much in terms of the bursary for you to study and all of that. And then you decide to take a student loan, because we do that depending on what is happening with our situation at the time. So you take out this loan for you to study for the first year of university. The loan agreement states that the repayment period is equal to 1.5 years. Definitely you need to make sure you understand what that means. So it means it's 18 months that you will be paying back this particular loan, right? Which is the same as 1 year and 6 months, right? And then they say to you, we then grant you this particular loan at an interest that is 10% per annum, compounded monthly. Now you can already see that somewhere, somehow, you know exactly what they might ask you to do, right? It might be what is the loan amount or what is the monthly payment for this particular loan. Now, if you repay a monthly installment of 1,335 rands and 95 cents, how much will the loan be, right, that you must take now in order to pay this much? So what do we know? We know our formula. We know our data that I is 0.10 over 12. We know that N is going to be 1.5 times 12, which is the same as 18 months because it's a monthly thing. And then we know on a month-to-month basis, we are paying 1,335 rands and then 95 cents. So my formula, as I've always told you, we start with the formula. And then I will say this is 1,335 rands and 95 cents into 1 minus, let me just remove that bracket because then it's going to confuse us. 1 minus, open a bracket, 1 plus 0.10 over 12, all raised to the exponent of minus 18, divided by 0.10 over 12. And then you just go straight to your calculator to do this. So on my calculator, I will first start with the fraction 1335.95, open the bracket, 1 minus another bracket, 1 plus, this is 0.10 over 12, all raised to a negative number. Please make sure that, because negative because of the fact that this is a reverse calculation, right? So this is divided by 0.10 over 12, and the answer will then be 22,000. So you can see the amount that you need to borrow is 22,244. And how many cents is it? 67 cents, right? And you know, this is normally what you are going to borrow in order for it to go towards the institution you are studying at that particular time. So therefore, if you can only afford to pay 1,335 rands and 95 cents, and the bank wants to charge you 10% for 18 months on a month-to-month basis, you can be able to take 22,000 from the bank. So that's the loan amount that you need to calculate. And then if you do this, which is taking out this student loan that we spoke about, now I want you to know how much interest you have actually paid. You will have paid on your student loan at the end of these 18 months. So we need to quickly go back to what we know, right? The loan amount we know was, so the interest, I am going to say this is equals to the loan amount minus what you have paid, right? What you have paid, we can call it W, what you have paid, right? Or monthly payments. So let me say MP, monthly payments, which is MP, which is the same as X, right? Now, the loan amount will be the 22,000 they told us about, 22,244, and how many cents was it again? This was 67 cents, and 67 cents minus monthly payment for 18 months will be 1,335 and 95 multiplied by the 18 months. Right, and then we then go straight to our calculator. So this amount minus, in brackets, I will have 1,335,95 multiplied by 18, and this will give me 1,802. So this will be 1,802. 1,802, right? So you can use the loan amount and the total amount repaid for the loan to calculate the interest that you would have paid. So please do note that. Now, Simon took a loan to buy a car for 180,000. That's a nice car, I'm sure. Calculate his monthly repayment if the loan is repaid over 6 years. Now, we need to know that a loan is normally paid on a month-to-month basis. So for 6 years, we're going to multiply this by 12 in order to get how many months he's paying this for. The bank then charges the interest at 10.5% per annum, compounded monthly. Then the repayment starts 1 month after the loan was drawn. Now, also, this has been something that has been confusing a lot of people over the past years or so. When I say to you, the loan is, you start paying it 1 month after, it means I cannot go to the bank and say, please lend me money. And then you borrow money from the bank. Immediately taking the money, you then pay. That will not be possible, right? You need to wait 1 month so that it can gain the interest and then you start paying. Because if you borrow 20,000 and they say you must pay 1,000 rand every month, you borrow 20, you pay 1,000 same time. It means you just needed 19,000, you didn't need 20,000. Hence, it's 1 month after. So I hope that clarifies what the 1 month after means. You are not adding 1 month into your calculation, no. It simply just means you wait for 1 month for it to accumulate some interest and then start paying. So, what do we know? We know that the present value is 180,000. We know that the interest is 10.5. We know that the number of months is 72. I want to know how much must I pay per month in order to amortize this loan of mine. So I will say P is equals to X into 1 minus 1 plus I to the exponent of negative N divided by I. And then I will then start substituting everything I know. This is 180,000 equals to, I want to know what X is, 1 minus 1 plus the interest they told me it was 0.105, which is 10.5, right? To the exponent of negative 72, because that's the duration of my loan over the interest again, divided by 12. And then you go straight to your calculator. On the calculator, you will find that it's 180. I'm just going to do everything on the calculator, but you can always do it step by step, right? 180,000, multiply this by the interest, which is the denominator, so I'm cross-multiplying, 105 over 12. It gives me the answer, then I will divide it by everything that is inside the big bracket. So divide this by 1 minus, in the bracket I have 1 plus 0.105 over 12 to the exponent of negative 72. You close the bracket after that and then you get the amount. So it means this person will need to pay 3,380 rands per month in order to amortize this loan. So my X will be 3,000, I think 380. Yes, 3,380. And how many cents is this? 21 cents. All right, so that will be the monthly payment. So you will then conclude. Therefore, the monthly payment is, you are more than welcome to do that because it's financial maths. So the last question that we're going to look at for now will be this one. So Sophie wants to take out a loan. Immediately I see the word loan, I then know I'm talking about present value, right? And this loan is mainly to buy a container and cooking equipment for 75,000 together, right? To start her fast food business. So she wants to then start a fast food business. To start up, she says, okay, I need a container, I need some equipment. It will cost me maybe 75,000 or more, but I want to take out a loan of 75,000. Now, the bank charges interest at 15% per annum, compounded monthly. Now you must calculate what her monthly repayment should be if the loan is repaid over 3 years. You know, this statement will most likely always be there when it comes to a loan. The repayment starts 1 month after the loan was drawn. Now, just some quick things that we need to know. We know that she took out a loan of 75,000. The interest that the bank is charging is 15%, and then the number of months will be 36. So here we know for a fact that the loan is for 3 years. They're charging her this interest. So she's starting this thing. She's still trying to think about it, right? So it might be after doing this, she might not feel like I can take this loan because I might not make this much money per month in order to pay back the loan. Or I think wherever I'm going to put my container, I might get quite enough money to pay back the loan and also to still fund my business. So let's quickly do that and see whether she will be able to do all of the above that I mentioned. Now, the formula that we know here will be P is equals to, open my bracket, X outside there, 1 minus 1 plus I to the exponent of negative n, all of this divided by I, right? The present value, which is the loan she wants to take, is 75,000 equals to, we want to know how much she must pay per month, 1 minus 1 plus the interest was 15% compounded monthly to the exponent of negative 36 because it's for 3 years, then divided by 0.15 over 12. Now we therefore go to our calculator to do this. With our calculator, we know this is 75,000. Multiply this amount with the interest, 0.15 over 12, to give me that much. I don't really need to know what this is because I'm just doing it all at once, right? Then you divide this by the whole bracket that I have. 1 minus, open the bracket, 1 plus the 0.15 over 12 to the exponent of negative 36, and then I close the bracket. And this will give me 2,599, right? So this will be X is equals to 2,500 and I think 99 it said, comma 899. So that will be 90,90 when you round it off. So this really means that Sophie will then need to pay 2,500, right? Let's say 2.6 for argument's sake, on a month-to-month basis. But now she's starting up the business. So if the next question that maybe would have added would be, is this a wise decision or not, based on the location where she is going to put this container, also what she's going to sell, because remember, fast food is not about any fast food. You need to look at what fast food will go in that location. And then we can then give her a decision to say, yes, so if you go ahead, take out the loan, or maybe save up some money for some time in order to take out a cheaper loan or work on your credit score, or all of those things that you can think about there. So that's how you will then think about the financial maths, and that's how you can use financial maths to assist yourself in order to try and make better decisions about your finances. Hi guys, welcome back. We are still looking at the concept of financial maths, and this has to do with present value annuities. Now we're going to look at the concept of an outstanding balance to see what it is about. What do we do when it comes to the concept of outstanding balance? Let's just jump right into it. So remember, present value has to do mainly about the bond repayments and the loan repayment, right? So that's where the outstanding balance concept will be taken from. Now, when you talk about the outstanding balance, this is the money you still need to pay in order to settle the loan, right? So this is the money you still need to pay in order to settle the loan. So meaning to make the loan to be equal to 0. That's what we are talking about. Now, two ways to calculate it. The first one will be to use the present value formula. I'm going to show you how to really do that. And also, you can then always say what you owe minus what you have paid, right? So what you owe, you mean the total amount of money that you still owe, so total present value plus the interest, minus what you have paid, which we normally use the future value for because it's monthly payments that accumulate to be a certain amount of money. But I will show you what that has to do with. The TP is normally calculated using the compound interest, hence I'm writing A there. Now, when you talk about this concept of outstanding balance, let's say you borrow 480,000 at an interest rate of 13.2% per annum compounded monthly. You repay the loan by means of equal monthly payments of 7,600 with the final payment being less than 7,600. That really does make sense, right? Because almost all the time when you pay back something, the last payment might be maybe 5,000 or 3,000 to settle it. Now, the first thing we will need to do will be to calculate how many months it will take for the loan to be repaid. So we are calculating N, right? Now, we're going to use the present value formula to do this. P, is 480. I is the interest rate. X will be the monthly payment. So I will then say P is equals to X into 1 minus 1 plus I to the exponent of negative N. All of this divided by I. And then the P value will be 480,000. I know that is equals to, I'm paying this by means of 7,600 into 1 minus 1 plus the interest is 0.1325 divided by 12, all raised to the exponent of negative 12n, because I don't know what n is, and this is divided by 0.1325 over 12. Then you go straight to your calculator with this. On my calculator, I will say 480,000. Multiply this by the interest there, which is 0.1325 over 12, which will then give me 5,300. I divide this by 7,600. It gives me that much, and then I must subtract 1, right? So subtract 1 from this, which will give me that. So now it means I actually have negative 23 over 76. 76 is equals to negative into 1 plus 0.1325 over 12 to the exponent of minus 12n. And then the negative and the negative, that I can divide both sides by it, right? Then from here, I will need to introduce my log. My negative 12n will be equals to the log of my base, which is 1 plus 0.1325 over 12. And then my number will be the 23.76, 23 over 76. Now, what I will then need to do is to introduce a log. I know my base is 1 plus 0.1325 over 12. And this has to do with, the number here will be 23 over 76, right? 23 over 76. And that will be my answer there. And I will divide this by negative 12. And it will give me 9 years. So this will be equal to 9 years. And that's how you will then need to do this. But you will first quickly need to look at what they wanted us to do. This, how many months? So actually we did not really need to divide this by 12, right? So let me multiply this by negative 12 to take it back. I just need to divide it by a negative 1 in order to make it a positive. So this is 108 months that the person is actually going to pay back this particular loan that they have taken from the bank. So let's understand what is happening here. We are looking at the concept of you take out a loan, you want to know how many months you must pay back the loan in order to amortize it based on an monthly payment of 7,600 at an interest of the 13.25% from the bank. So you then need to reverse that, but you must always remember you introduce a log in this particular question. When we come back from the ad break, guys, I want us to then look at the concept of the outstanding balance and how does it then factor into this whole concept that we've just discussed now. But for now, let's take a quick ad break and I'll be back just now. Hi guys, welcome back. As I said, we are going to look at now how the concept of an outstanding balance factors into what we are going to talk about here, right? So let's just quickly look at the questions and then try to answer them. I'm going to give you two options for the outstanding balance. As I said, by the way, that there's two options of calculating an outstanding balance. So we're still looking at the present value. So now they say, if I repay this loan and my final payment is less than this, what will then be my outstanding balance if it happens that at the 180th payment is made, and then this 108th, right, not 80th, 108th payment is not one that makes the loan to be zero. There is still a couple of cents or rands that I still need to pay in order to do this. Because remember, when we found the number of months, this was 1.8 comma something that is there. This something that is here is what makes this loan to still be short of some few rands to complete this particular loan and make it a zero. So I want to know what is my outstanding balance after that, right? So the first option will be I can use the present value in order to do this. And what I use with the present value is just the normal present value formula situation that I will calculate with, where it's P is equals to X into 1 minus 1 plus I to the exponent of minus N, all divided by I, right? Now I want to know what is the present value. So present value is the same as the concept of an outstanding balance, right? And I know I've been paying 7,600 into this loan of mine. 1 minus, they were charging me an interest rate of 0.1325, all divided by 12 to the exponent of minus 108. And then this is divided by the same interest, which is 0.1325 divided by 12. Now, guys, let's understand what is happening here. If I was to pay, you remember the very first scenario I spoke about where I said you can use the present value to calculate how much you must borrow from the bank, provided you know how much you want to pay and how long you want to pay it. Now we are using the very same concept that if I've paid for 108 months, but my loan is still not complete, how much more do I still need to pay the bank, right? And that much more is definitely going to be less than the 7,600. Let's quickly look at that. Now I'm gonna go to my calculator, you know that. On my calculator, I will say 7,600 into 1 minus, open the bracket, 1 plus 0.1325 divided by 12 to the exponent of negative 108 close my bracket, all over 0,1325 over 12. And this will give me that much there. So this will be equals to, let me quickly just verify, 478,000. 478,059 rands. And 59 rands, comma, 09, so 9 cents, right? Now, this is how much I would have paid the bank, right? Now, I need to just subtract the 400 and the amount that I initially borrowed from the bank, which is the loan amount that I took from the bank. So remember, I borrowed 480, right? Now I'm on 478,000. So to go back to this, I will just say subtract 480, but you know you will say 480 minus, right? And this will give me 1,940. So the outstanding balance will actually be, I'm going to call it OB, outstanding balance, 1,940. 1,940. So this will be the last installment after the 108th installment. So my 109th installment will be way less than what I initially started with. The second option now will be to consider the total value of the money loan, of the loan up to 108 months, and then subtract the value of the payments up to 108 months, including the interest. You remember I said minus, take what you owe minus what you need to pay the bank. So you can use the compound interest to calculate the first part of this. So compound interest will be A is equals to P into 1 plus I to the exponent of n, right? And this will be 480,000 into 1 plus the interest is 0,1325 divided by 12. This gained interest for 108 months. And whatever I get here, I'm going to subtract what I have paid up until 108 months. So this will be 480,000 into 1 plus 0,1325 divided by 12. Let me just verify that I have enough zeros there. 480 and 3 zeros. Yes, that's clear. Then all to the exponent of 108. And this will then give me 1,571,000. So 1,571,000. 1,571,000 and how many cents? How many rands? 444. 444, comma 556. So I'm just going to write it as is because this is not my final answer, right? And then I go to what? Now the next part will be to use the future value formula to do what? To calculate the payments that I have made for 108 months. To do that, I will then say FV is equals to X into 1 plus I to the exponent of n minus 1, all divided by I. Now, just to clarify, guys, I know someone might ask, now why are we having future value in present value? It's because the monthly payments that you would have made over time, they accumulate to be a certain bigger amount. Although concurrently to that, the loan amount is going down, but your monthly payments going up, right? Because you are trying to get to whatever amount you had borrowed from the bank, hence future value. So please let that not confuse you as to why am I now introducing future value in present value. And then to substitute what I have here will be 7,600 into 1 plus 0,325 divided by 12. Let me just fix that. 108 minus 1, right? just to quickly fix this, this must be a 2 there. So this is 2. And then all of this, I will divide it by 0.1325 divided by 12. So you go straight to the calculator from there. I'm going to just let that answer to still stay there. 7,600 into 1 plus the bracket 0.1325 over 12, all raised to the exponent of 108, 108 minus 1, close the bracket, over another fraction, 0.1325 over 12. And this will then give me that much there, right? So this will be equals to 1560. I hope I'm, 565, then 090, 565. So let's fix that. 565090, comma 307, comma 307, right? Now that I know all of this, you can then calculate the outstanding balance by subtracting the value of the payments made up to this much from the total amount that you actually owe. So let's quickly remember what our values were, right? So I'm just going to say OB is equals to the A value minus the future value, right? The first calculation was the A value. So I'm just going to go back to get my values as they are. 157 and 3/4. 1571444, comma, I think this was 556, yes. 556 minus, then this one is, or was, 1565, 1565, 090, comma, 307. Please, you can see I am not rounding off anything because I'm still calculating, right? So you never round off while you are still calculating. Now, I know that you need to do the opposite of what I'm doing, but you can always just say minus 1571,444, comma 556, and this will give me 6,000. So now there's something I am missing here. Okay, so it will give me 6,354. Right. So this will be equals to 6,354. Let's verify. Yes, 354, comma a few cents. So now that I'm seeing this, I remember that I was actually supposed to minus this 1,940 from this 7,600 in order to get what my last installment is going to be, not just leave it at that. So please just remember that is the last step that you need to do there, because I'm seeing that as I'm doing this, there was one more step that we missed with this one. All right. So that will therefore be the outstanding balance of this particular thing. And then they say you repay the loan by means of equal monthly payment of 7,000, with the final being less than that. What is the final installment? And then the final installment will be, you use the compound interest formula to do that, right? So this will be A is equals to P into 1 plus I to the exponent of N. This will be 6,354 and 25 cents into 1 plus 0.1325 all over 12, and then this is just for 1 month, and then you need to know what exactly you are going to pay there for 1 month. So this is going to be, let me just multiply this by negative, but let's just rewrite it. 6,354,25 into 1 plus 0.1325 over 12 to the exponent of 1, right? And then that's just the amount that I'm going to pay. So this will be 6424. This will be 6424 and 41 cents. And 41 cents. And that will be the final payment. So you can really see that this is what outstanding balance is all about, right? How much have you paid? Subtracted from how much you actually owe the bank. That gives you what the balance is supposed to be. So for example, if you owe me 10,000 and you've paid 8,000, it means the outstanding balance is my 10,000 minus your 8,000, which will be the 2,000 that you still need to pay. So that's just how you can think about it logically, so that it makes sense to you. All right, so please remember that what you need to know with the present value annuities, you need to make sure that you know your loans. This is the main thing that has to do with the present value annuity: a loan, a bond, any type of a loan. The other thing we can add even is a bursary, right? Even a bursary is a present value. Why? Because you get the money now, right? They tell you that in the agreement that you sign for the bursary, they say we're going to give you 84,000 for the year. And then, you know, in that 84,000, if your school fees for the university is maybe 60,000, including a place to stay, then the balance will be the 24,000. So the 24,000 will be your monthly allowance that you get. At the end of the year, the 84,000 will be zero. And that's the whole point of a present value. Starting with a very big amount of money, going down up until you get to zero. And we normally say we're amortizing this. I hope all of that has given you some idea on what exactly present value is about, how loans work, how repayments work, the outstanding balance, and I'm hoping it is also just giving you an idea of how to best make your decisions that you want to make in your life based on using the financial mathematics. I hope you had fun, guys, but I need to live and love you. Until next time, but remember, mathematics is food for the soul.
Woza Matrix 2021 Catch-Up is brought to you by the Department of Basic Education, NECT, ETDP SETA, SABC, MultiChoice, and DBE TV on OpenView Channel 122 in partnership with